Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Samhain Halloween 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration, and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Gemini. So we're going to be seeing about Samhain, Halloween, and that is a time where the ancient Celts believed that the world between the spirit world and our waking world was the thinnest and the best time to connect with spirit. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be connecting with spirit to see the messages that need to come forward for us. So let's see what energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so our ambition through the roof. Okay, this is a gift from God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe. Now, when this comes through as a warning, it can be that our ambition is through the roof, but our follow through isn't there. It can be that we are burning ourselves out, that we're overextending ourselves, and it can even be that we're having trouble seeing our own blessings, seeing what sets us apart from everybody else. And divinity is saying, this is who you are. And we're saying, are you sure? Or maybe I'm not comfortable with this. It might bring us too into the sphere of the esoteric, or, put us too far out there, taking a risk on ourselves that we're not sure we can do. Because I do feel like somebody planted a negative seed in you. Okay, Gemini, and this negative seed has taken time to grow, but its roots are deep. And so this is going to be a time of pulling out, of getting to the roots of things. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. So what's really, really interesting here is that you have the King and the Queen of Wands. So that's a soulmate connection around work, okay? Around our careers, around our passions, around what we desire. We also have the Knight of Swords coming through. Okay, we're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We can have a tendency here to just charge off. We will just go for it. We'll just go for it. And it's kind of like, who cares? I'm just going for it. I'm just seeing what happens. And Spirit's saying here, slow it down, because you can be the hero of your story, but you need to make sure that you're seeing the full extent of what you want, or else we can be the one who causes a lot of the messes during this time. So being aware of that, being also aware that energy that has come through before somebody planted a seed, it's shown up here in judgment. It's like somebody has judged us, and we let that judgment of us move us forward. This is a teacher. Okay, a teacher, a coach, somebody like that told us we couldn't. All right, they reiterated words that we had heard before. Okay, but for some reason that person is coming through very, 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 very profoundly. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, the Four of Pentacles is vampiric energy. There's vampiric energy here that has drained our wealth. It can be that we have somebody that we're supporting that is financially, draining. And that is going to be for somebody here where it's like this person isn't meeting their potential. Okay, so just be aware of that. But there is also a sense of, there's almost a sense of, I'm only allowed to be this wealthy. I'm only allowed to have this much. And then it's like, I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. Okay? There's that energy coming forward, and it's from that seed that was planted, that person that left. And it doesn't have to be that this person was a bad person. You could have just shared with them your dreams and they laughed at you, or they gave you a look and it stung. It stung. You took it to heart. Okay? Know that that has more to do with that person's shortcomings than it does with yours, because they already judged you off of things that they had never known. All right? And that's going to be very important to understand. With the King of Wands crowning things, we're going through a transformation. Okay? We're entering into this new season in the Northern Hemisphere. It is, we're going into the winter months. In the Southern Hemisphere, we are going into the summer months. But we are entering into a time of transformation where we are embracing our power, we're embracing what we want. And with the Queen of Wands coming through, when we have the King and the Queen from the same deck in a reading, it's a soulmate connection, true love connection. You can be falling in love with your work. You can be finding a partner, a business partner that completely gets you. You can be finding a romantic partner who completely understands your ambition, what you're looking for, and where you want to be. Be very mindful, okay, during this time. Just a warning for Geminis, we can fall in love with the people that we're working with, and Spirit's saying that things can get a little bit messy if we don't have clear boundaries. So just be aware of this. There's a locket that's coming forward that's very important. Okay, it's either you're going to be getting a locket as a gift, or there is a locket. There's something about opening it up and seeing the pictures that were important to that person or were important to you in that time in your life. That's going to be a very important thing. I don't know what's going on with the locket, but that locket is going to be important. Okay, there is this sense here. It's funny because it's almost like you didn't have a voice before when it came to your career and when it came to what you want, or you had lost your voice when you were moving forward. Okay, there is a sense now that you're reclaiming your voice and you're reclaiming where it is that you want to be. It was almost like a loss of connection. Now that connection is coming back, and that's going to be very important. His sewn lips are coming through, but I almost see this thing of like, I'm zipping my lips shut and I'm locking and I'm throwing away the key. It can be that we said we were going to keep somebody's secret, or it can be that we just kind of lost faith with ourselves along the way, and that connection that we had with the divine was giving us trouble. So just be aware of that's coming through very, very powerfully here. There is also a sense of being very connected with fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is going to be a time for us where if we have that fire sign energy within our natal chart, our fire is going to be coming out. If we have fire sign energies within our lives, even if we're not too keen on them, okay, they're going to be playing a more front and center role than we had thought they would be. And if we are just absolutely in love with this fire sign energy, if this is a person who has our heart, they're going to be playing a big role. And it doesn't matter if they're a friend, if they're a partner or a child, this person is going to be very important to us. There is a sense that we are learning how to advocate for ourselves through the tenacity of this energy that's coming forward. Now, with the Knight of Swords, we are charging forward, and we are learning in this time, as we enter into either the winter or the summer months, we are learning in this time how to advocate for ourselves, how to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is where I'm headed. For a lot of us Geminis, that sense of our voice being lost, it has permeated into everything that we do. Now, it can be that we advocate for ourselves, but it can be that we get frustrated, and all of a sudden we'll find that our tempers just explode, and we're like, I don't even like being around me. What is going on here? We have to realize our own power and our own distinction. There is a sense that we are standing out from the crowd. We are standing out from what others had anticipated from us or thought that we would be. And that's going to be very much a good thing. We are finding our way forward. We're finding what we desire. Remember, the Knight of Swords is the energy that tells us, okay, you're either moving too fast, slow it down, rein it in, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight. So even though we like to move quickly, we like to think quickly, as an air sign energy, and especially as a young air sign energy, represented as a young air sign energy, ruled by Mercury, our thoughts, our words, they're always moving, they're always going, we're always evolving. And to some, that seems like a scatteredness, but to us, it is a sense of, I'm seeing where I need to be. I assess very quickly whether this is right for me or whether it's not, and I move myself forward. This is a time where Spirit's saying, be in your body, okay? Be in your body and be connected with yourself, which sounds silly because where the heck else are you going to be? But Spirit is saying your body will speak to you. It will say, I like this. It will say, this is bad for me. You might even find that if you're drinking or smoking or doing something like that, where something in your head says, this is poison. Like, I don't want this in me anymore. Listen. Listen, because it's going to be surprising, the knowledge that you are given, okay? There is an energy that's also coming forward. Okay. So I'm just hearing, you're the master of your destiny. You're the one who decides what you want. There's one of my favorite books in the whole entire world is The Night Circus. If you've been here for a while, you know I adore that book. And there's a time where they're having the cards read, right? And the Knight of Swords is turned over. And the person is the hero, right? In a certain way. But he has to come to that conclusion. And there's a sense here, because I'm just seeing that scene come through, that card being turned over in a circus tent. And it's like, you are deciding whether to be that hero, how you want to move forward, and where it is that you want to be. There's also a sense that there was scatteredness before. I'm just seeing a bunch of seeds like scattered down. And the sense of what has grown forward. Where do we want to be? What have we planted that we wanted to see grow? And what have we planted that as it grew, we're like, oh no, but not that. I didn't want that. So just be aware of it. It's coming through very, very intensely. Okay? With the Queen of Wands. I always see the Queen of Wands as a bit of magic coming forward. She is the goddess Hecate in Greek mythology. She is a mystery. She is magic. She is us deciding to see ourselves, understand ourselves, know where we want to be. Where the King of Wands says, this is what I'm going after and this is what I want. The Queen of Wands, it's very funny. I never really noticed her jewelry before at all. But that pumpkin came through as a locket and that ghost is coming through. You're going to have a connection with a past loved one, okay? You're going to have a connection, and you actually can have multiple connections, Gemini. And you might find that if you... Okay, so I don't know how to word this, but like mediumship, you might be very drawn to a medium. You might find that you yourself have talents in that area. Just keep an open mind, because that's going to be important to you, and that's going to be important for you. If you journal, okay, if you keep a connection with your spirit guides and you just do like free-form writing, you can actually find that you get some really good answers from people, or just like that connection. If you meditate, you just get that connection with people that kind of sets you apart and helps you to move forward. So be aware of this. You might find it disconcerting at first, but it's really going to be a fantastic gift that you're utilizing. Or you're looking to see a medium, and that's going to be something that you find very comforting. There is an energy that's moving you forward in a way that you hadn't expected. There is a sense of you embracing your talents, embracing where it is that you want to be, embracing what it is that you're looking for. You're opening up a door that has been closed to you, and you're saying, no, but this is me. And there's a growth to you. There's a maturity to you. It doesn't matter your age, that you are starting to see a wisdom moving you forward in a way that it just hadn't before. You almost felt out of place, and now you feel like you're settling into yourself. It's kind of like the house shifting. It's settling into itself. It's settling into its foundation. You might also hear, I just hear like the creaking sounds like of an old house, but also know that you have a very strong connection, and that needs to be acknowledged. Or somebody in your family, okay, in your house. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. Okay, you might have a child, you might have a partner that has this connection. You're going to be more aware of it than they are. So just be aware of this. When they say like, oh, my imaginary friend, and they describe it to you, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's that's the person who sold us the house. Or, oh my gosh, that is, yeah, that is, whomever. You'll there's going to be something here where they'll connect with a past loved one. They're going to say something that has you really understanding that they're seeing more than what everybody else sees. Okay? And if this is you, you're seeing more than what everybody else sees. And it's going to be made very, very clear. With judgment, okay? You've put yourself in a box, or you said it has to be like this, and you're starting to see, like, oh, it doesn't. Like, oh, I was wrong. There's somebody who likes things very, very ordered, a place for everything and everything in their place. It's not everything being super tidy. It's that they need to be able to categorize everything and everyone. That could have even have been you, but there's a real sense of, I'm breaking that categorization. I'm not going to be defined anymore, and I'm rising out of the box. I'm rising out of, it almost felt like I'm rising out of, it's almost like sleepwalking through your life. And now that we're entering into the season, we're going to find that we're coming out of the darkness, which is very interesting, because if we're going into the winter months, if we're in the northern hemisphere, we're going into what's seen as going into the womb, right? If we're in the southern hemisphere, we're being birthed forward. But by going into the womb, we would think, oh, I'm closing things off. It's like, no, you're nourishing yourself and you're moving forward. So we're going to be finding this time to be one of great exploration. Now, this makes more sense. It feels like that it makes more sense when the sun is up, right? If we're going into the summer months, we'd be like, oh, of course I'm going to explore. Of course I'm going to be moving forward. I'm going to be more active. But it's going to be very interesting for those of us in the northern hemisphere that it's like, no, but this is a time where I'm seeing me and I'm finding me in a way that I didn't even know I lost me before. I didn't even know I wasn't on the right path. And now that I'm seeing myself move forward to the place that I need to be for me, that door is opening in a way that I just hadn't realized. This is also going to be a time where you're greatly linked with your angels, with your spirit guides, with, the guidance that you need if we quiet down and see it. But there's also a sense of the restraints that we have had, the way that we've said, oh no, this couldn't possibly be, those restraints are being broken, and we're seeing ourselves coming alive again. It's almost like, it's like a plant that hasn't been watered for a really long time. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to tend to this. So you water the plant and it comes alive again. It perks up. We ourselves are perking up. It brings us to the Four of Pentacles. We're seeing a lot of vampiric energy, okay? Spirit just said, it doesn't have to be vampiric energy that's like people around us who are draining us. It can be our own self-destructive tendencies that are coming forward. A waste of money, too much drinking, too much, whatever vice, drugs, alcohol, sex, food, whatever we're using as an escape, we're going to find that we're just not that interested anymore. We're not interested in the running away. We're also not interested in the ties that have been draining us. I do see this as from the past of 4 people planting seeds of doubt within us. We're going to become very aware of them, and they're going to be like poison drawn to the surface. We're going to be releasing it. But I do see that, like that sense of it's coming to the surface, it's rising up, and we're releasing the poison that has been within us, the doubts, the fears, the negativity. So let's go deeper. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. That's interesting. Okay, so we start here with the 8 of Cups. As we're embracing change, right? As we're embracing the King of Wands, but also as we're embracing our passions, what we desire, we're finding our voice, we're setting ourselves apart from the crowd, we're walking away from something we once thought we would love. There is a sense, and I just hear somebody saying something like, oh, well, I'd be perfectly fine if I, did it this way. Kind of like if I was more unconventional. And then when it comes time to be unconventional or, not have the, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's like with family or with starting your own business, but it's like, oh, I'm completely fine to be unconventional. And then when it comes time and we think like, oh, okay, it's time for me to like go out on this cliff and like go for this, we're like, oh no, I want to do it the safe way. I want to be safe. I want to be much more secure. And Spirit's saying, no, it's time to walk away from what we had thought was secure, because it doesn't necessarily mean the security that we thought. Now it's time to take a chance on us. And I'm seeing that very profoundly. It's kind of like we had that bravado when it was just an abstract, and now that it's becoming more reality, it's like, oh no, I'm scared. So Spirit is saying, don't worry, don't worry. Not that you won't have your ups and downs. You definitely you will, but it's like you need to. I just see the Eight of Cups as more of a convention. It's more of a dream of like, this is the way it's supposed to be. And Spirit's saying, why? Why was it supposed to be like this? It moves us to the Nine of Wands. We ourselves have been through hell. I mean, battles, disappointments, have really been through the ringer, okay? It's time to acknowledge it. It has slowed us down. It has. Our hurts, our pains, our disappointments, the chaos. It hasn't stopped us. And that's going to be a very important thing, because we're going to think, oh no, I'm just defined by this pain, or I'm just defined by not having gotten there at the age that I thought I was supposed to, or it's always just going to be so difficult. Spirit is saying, no, no. The Nine of Wands is us being battle weary, it's us being overwhelmed, yes, but it's not the end of the game. We might find that we get headaches. We might find that we hold a lot of stress in our shoulders and in our arms, and especially our elbows. Okay, it's going to be important. Our elbows and our wrists, just like those joints. I just feel like, okay, the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. We can find that we hold a lot of tension there, or there's like a restriction of movement. Be aware of that, because it's like all of a sudden, like, that expression is like we're trying to hold it in, or there's a sense that we're not releasing a lot of other people's opinions that are kind of whacking us. Okay, and it does feel like we've been beaten at times. It's like, it feels like, oh my gosh, I just feel so sore, I feel so overwhelmed. There could be moments just of chaos around us, or we're trying to please everybody else, or there's so much noise around us that we lose ourselves. Now, with the Chariot and the Queen of Wands, the Chariot is Cancer energy. If we're born on the cusp of Cancer, if we have Cancer in our chart, that's going to be part of our magic. There is a part that says emotionally we can get out of hand at times. So just be aware of this. We have to rein things in and see what we desire and what we want. Our emotions are going to be severely linked to our blessings, to our magic, to our passions, and those emotions can get out of hand. And when those emotions get out of hand, we feel as if we lost ourselves. We can also have moments of darkness. Okay, Gemini, Spirit is saying that, like moments when you feel sad and overwhelmed. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I do like taking mustard flower essences. That's very, very good if you tend to get overwhelmed or just feel like blue at times. That's really, really helpful, especially if you're highly intuitive, highly creative. That can be a very good thing. There's a sense here of things getting chaotic at times, and it can make us not see our own potential and our own power. We can also want things to go a heck of a lot faster than they're actually going to go, and then we can get frustrated. Oh no, it's not happening at all. And other people are looking at us and they're like, what the heck are you talking about? You're doing a great job. We just want things to be moving at such a speed and with such intensity. So just be aware of that. With judgment, we are judging our own magic. Oh goodness. We are judging our own gifts. And we have also let others judge our potential. And maybe our potential wasn't what they saw as worth it. I don't mean to be so blunt, but Spirit is saying here, like, somebody looked at our talents and they put us in a box. Or they looked at our talents and they said, oh, you're not as talented as me. You couldn't possibly. And so we were put in a box. This is a time where we're seeing our magic, where we're seeing the depth of what we can achieve, of the brilliance that is a part of us, of our power, of our intentions, of our perseverance, of the greatness that is us. We're changing the game. We're changing what we desire. We're changing what we're looking for. And we're seeing ourselves a heck of a lot more clearly. There is a real sense here that at this time, as we're rising out of darkness, we're standing before the altar of our existence and we're saying, I matter. I matter, and there's more to me than meets the eye. We're actually beginning to see our magic because, is this Oogie Boogie? His magic was profound, profound. And yet, he used it more for the chaotic, more for, not blessings. And Spirit's saying also be very aware of that. Be very aware of when we have our magic come forward, when we see our potential, that we look at it and say, okay, how am I utilizing this for the best energy I can put out there, for the way that I can grow not only myself, but it's like how can I make my world spring into wildflowers? That's also going to be a sign for you, wildflowers. Okay, either getting a packet of seeds, or there's something here with flowers. There's something here with flowers, like a gift, unexpected, that comes, that has a flower on it, a note that has a flower on it. It's going to be something unexpected. It can be seeds, it can be like seed paper or something like that, that is going to be an unexpected way that flowers come into your life. Or it's like you're walking down and you see these beautiful wildflowers in the midst of something that isn't quite so pretty. So just be aware. We have the Tower around the Four of Pentacles. We do. So something has rocked our world. The vampiric energy, the chaotic energy, the draining energy has rocked our world. And that's why we're becoming a lot more aware of it and a lot more intolerant of it. Before we're like, oh, it's no big thing, or oh, it doesn't mean anything. And now we're like, oh, heck no. Oh, heck no, this isn't okay. So with the Tower, a lot has been shaken. With the Tower, it's changed. It's changed that you can't walk back from. You can't make things exactly as they once were. And the thing is, we don't really want to. We're looking at the energy that has drained us, the doubts, the fears, the chaos, whether it be old or whether it be new. And there's no place for it anymore in our lives and for us. We're going to see us stepping forward in a way. It's like, what I see is that we're stepping out of rubble. Okay? It's like we were down for the count, we were overwhelmed, and we're stepping out of the rubble. I do very much feel like we feel it. We feel it in our joints. We feel it in our body. That like we've been through this fight. You can feel a little bit achy. You can feel just like you get a slow go. You need to take a nice hot shower in the morning. That type of thing. You can feel achy and overwhelmed. And just like, I almost feel like it's like there was a time when like the cold lingered in your bones. And now there's a healing. There's a cleansing. There's a sense of we're walking out of that rubble and we're pulling everything back together. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. It's the Ten of Swords. Okay? I just heard like a husky crying, right? And that very much is like overreacting, right, to things. So be very mindful of it, that we can kind of overreact to things and just like think, oh my gosh, this is absolutely terrible, like overkill. Okay, so subconsciously we can tend to do that to ourselves. So be aware of that. But we're also going to see here that we can look at all the hurts and all the pains and all the disappointments we have been through and been like, well, why has my life been so hard and everybody else's have been so easy? And without realizing, everybody's life is hard in a different way. It can be hard sometimes to see that all the pain and all the hurt and all the disappointments we have been through have been powerful lessons that resurrect us. That as we rise up, we have a wealth of knowledge and insight and power at our disposal. It can be hard to see that this is the darkness before the dawn, because we can tend to just be a little bit dramatic, kind of like a 3-year-old having a tantrum and having to sit right in the middle of everything. And when you're not paying attention to them, they move closer to you and be like, excuse you, everything is awful, type of thing. So just be aware of that energy around us, because it's kind of funny. Not when we're in it. And when we're in it, it's like everything is terrible. I've had enough. I'm just absolutely done. We can get that way, okay? And then we need to step out of it, and we might need to apologize, or we might need to just like calm ourselves down and be like, okay, you know what? I'm having a tantrum. It's okay. It's okay. I am okay. And if that means we have to go for a walk or go for a coffee, do so. Do so. Take yourself out of the situation if you can. If you can't, and you just need to like go outside for a minute and stand on your, on your porch, or like, stick your head out the window and just breathe in some fresh air to calm yourself down, do so. do so. It doesn't matter if you look silly. Like, do so. Take care of you. We have the Fool. And we have the 8 of Wands. We know in our bones there's a new adventure that's coming. There's a new way that's moving us forward. It's going to happen quickly, but subconsciously we know it. We have to be foolish enough to go after our dreams and not just play it safe, but from all of this, we're kind of really tired of playing it safe. We're kind of really tired of reining everything in. Subconsciously, you know that there's greater things out there. Subconsciously, once it hits, we're going to see ourselves move forward really, really quickly. We know it. It can just take time, and it will take time. So be patient, be kind to yourself, and know that things will open up. The number 8 is going to be very important. The day of the month, circle it, see what happens on that day. That's going to be an important day. And 8 weeks from this time, 8 months, which I know seems far away, but gosh, this time moved quickly, is going to be important. Even 8 days. So just be aware of that. Okay. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this Halloween and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini, and may you have a blessed Halloween.